welcome back to my YouTube channel. I feel like it's been so long since I've filmed a YouTube video. Time is literally just like flying by right now and it's actually kind of scaring me. I think my last tutorial was like 2 months ago. And that's really bad. So today I'm filming a long overdue makeup tutorial and I'm really excited about it. We're obviously coming into summer now, which is great for basically like everyone else. But I live in Dubai and the temperature has literally like skyrocketed over the past few weeks. It's been like 42 degrees recently and that's like unbearable for me. So everyone at home is getting to go out and enjoy the sun, but now it's time for me to like stay indoors. But I'm still feeling the summer vibes, so I want to show you the kind of summery makeup that I've been doing recently. This has been like my go-to look at the moment. It's like a warm sun-kissed look. It's a little bit smoky on the eyes with lots of faux freckles. It's given summer, it's given holidays, and I feel like it's really different to all the other looks I've posted before. So let's get into it. Starting off with some skin prep. I don't really like to do too much to my skin before I go in with makeup, but obviously for this kind of look you want to be really nice and glowy. So I'm just going in with the Tatcha Dewy cream. This just feels amazing on my skin. I feel like it really hydrates it and obviously it gives it that really nice dewy finish, which is exactly what we're looking for. See that glow? And I'm just going to let that sink into my skin for a couple of minutes. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but I recently had my lip blush done. I got it done like a week ago today, so I feel like it's fully healed now. I'm honestly so happy with it. We did like an ombre lip, so she made it a bit more pigmented, like towards the edge of my lips, almost like a lip liner kind of vibe. It's so nice to wake up and your lips are already like pink and pretty. Okay, next step in getting that really nice and glowy base, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I've recently fallen back in love with this and I don't know why I ever stopped using it. I usually just use this shade, which is shade 4, but I've got a little bit of fake tan on just now, so I'm also going to mix in a couple of dots of shade 5. This is like a way more orangey warm tone, and I'm just blending this out with a fluffy face brush. This is one of the double-ended ones from Refy. And just pressing and blending that into the skin. I've been loving just wearing this on its own as well. Like even if I'm just going to the gym or going out on a little walk or something, I just put a little bit of Flawless Filter on and immediately feel like 20 times better. I always love going back and like rediscovering old favourite products. Making sure to blend this all the way down my neck as well. Okay, now that we've got this gorgeous tanned glowy base, we can start adding some coverage. I'm going to be using Nars Light Reflecting Foundation today. This is like my favourite summer foundation. You can also definitely skip this step if you're wanting it a bit more natural or more daytime, but I'm just going to go in with a little bit of foundation. I just added 2 pumps to the back of my hand and then worked it right into the sponge, and I'm just going to bounce it into the skin anywhere that I feel like I need it, which is usually like the center of my face because I get a lot of redness here, so that's where I'm going to keep the majority of this coverage. This foundation is honestly perfect. It's so nice and thin and lightweight, and it's like a light medium coverage, but it's really buildable. So when I go in with that one layer, you can still see all that glow from the Flawless Filter peeking through, and I love that I can still see all my freckles too. Again, making sure to get the neck. We want to make sure everything is nice and seamless and blended. I just remembered that I forgot to say during skin prep to use an SPF. You should be wearing SPF on your face every day regardless, but obviously it's even more important in the summer. These are my 2 favourite face SPFs. We have the Ultraviolet Queen Screen, which is SPF 50, and then I also have my Fenty Skin Hydra Visor, and this one is SPF 30. These both work really well under foundation. So yeah, don't forget your SPF. Now I'm going to go straight in with some cream bronzer. This is Patrick Ta, she's Bronze Duo, and this is looking rough at the moment. I've been using this so much lately. Picking this up on a Morphe R46 brush and going in and sculpting and bronzing up my face. I first go in and place the product here at like the top of my ear, tap it in, and then start to blend upwards and inwards. Also, you don't have to do your makeup in this exact order. If you do prefer doing your concealer first and then going in with your other cream products, that is like totally fine. I still do that sometimes, but I really like just going in with my cream bronzer and blush and then like cleaning it all up with concealer. I feel like it's just a lot more satisfying. This is like the perfect tan sun-kissed colour. I usually don't do too much on my forehead, but because today we want to look like a bronze goddess who's been out in the sun all day, then you actually want to put it everywhere that the sun would hit. The forehead is definitely one of those places, so we're just going extra with the bronzer, tapping and pressing it in. I also like to drag it across my eyelid and up. And we can't forget to contour the nose. So I'm picking up some more cream bronzer on my Patrick Ta for 3 brush and running that down the sides of my nose. Always just tapping in that product, tapping that into the bottom of my nose. This is just going to lift the tip I'm basically just continuing the line from this like socket here, starting at the top of my nose right where it ends, following that line down. And with whatever's left in the brush, I'm just going to start blending it up and into that socket, right into the start of my brow. It's not fully blended, but I'm just going to leave it like this just now, and then we can blend it out later. Now we can get into some blush. I feel like Rhode Toasted Teddy is the sun-kissed blush shade. So I'm going to use this today, but I've also done this look with like a bright pink blush, and that also looked really good. So just depending on your preference, but today I want to look sunburnt. So I'm just picking this up on my blush brush. This is a Mima 09 brush. I'm honestly a little bit embarrassed to be using this brush at the moment. It's like actually destroyed, but I just love it so much. It's so nice and soft, and I feel like it's like bent itself into like the perfect shape that I need it. So yeah, don't mind the brush. And I like to really work it into the brush on the back of my hand, especially with a colour like this that's quite a bit deeper. Going in and applying this all over my cheek, right underneath the eyes and all the way up to the high points. Not being precise with this at all because we're still going to go in with some concealer and clean everything up. I'm also taking what's left on the brush and just patting it really lightly above each eyebrow just to make it look a bit more realistic. It's also really cute if you take a little bit on the bridge of your nose as well. So cute. Okay, now we can go in with concealer, starting with this Nars pot concealer. I love this concealer so much, but I honestly can't wait until I don't need to use it anymore. I use the shade Macadamia, and I'm taking it on a Zoeva 142 brush, and I'm just using this to spot conceal and to cancel out any blemishes. This really does work as like a little magic eraser. And you really want to stamp and press this in to get maximum coverage. And for my under eyes, I'm going to go in with my Tower 28 concealer. I've run out of my Milk Future fluid, so I've been using this in the meantime, and I actually really do like it. Starting with just a wee bit in the inner corners underneath my eyes. And I always like to take some up towards the temple here to lift. Center of the forehead, center of the chin, and around the nose here where I have lots of redness. I'm going back in with my sponge to blend that out. I actually decided to repurchase Tarte Shape Tape the other day because years ago that was like my holy grail, like favourite concealer ever, and I do remember it being really good. So I picked it back up and then tried to use it the other day, and oh my god, it was so bad. Like I actually had to fully wipe it off and put a different concealer on. It was genuinely so dry and like clung to every bit of like dry skin, every wrinkle. Like it just made my under eyes look absolutely awful. I swear that concealer used to be so good. Like I used to wear that every single day. I really like to take my time with this and make sure the concealer is staying exactly where I want it. You don't want to just quickly blend it in and just blend it out everywhere and ruin all this work that we've done before. I'm basically using the concealer to sculpt, taking it down the sides of my nose to clean up that nose contour. You can see that's now made like a harsh line on each side of my nose contour. So I'm just going to take my sponge again. I'm going to use this middle part here that has no product on it and just lightly bounce this over that harsh line. You don't actually want to move the product, but you just want to lightly diffuse them together, just like that. Before we set the face, I always like to go back in with my bronzer and my blush brush. Taking the bronzer brush first. I've not picked up any more product, but I'm just going back in and blending over where we initially put it, just to make sure everything's nice and blended. And the exact same thing with the blush brush. Lightly tapping over everywhere that we put it before. Wow, this base looks really good. I am actually really loving this concealer. Like the finish is so nice. Now we can finally go in and set this face in place. Obviously, I'm using my favourite Charlotte Tilbury, picking it up on my little Trigwell powder puff. I'm kind of dusting it off and pressing it in on the back of my hand. Before we go in with the powder though, we just want to make sure that every single line has been blended out, every crease. Just going and lightly tapping that back in with my beauty blender. Then we can take the puff and press in. Being super light-handed so that we don't disrupt that concealer underneath. Pressing this in wherever I put that concealer, and also the areas that I spot concealed. I'm still keeping this powder to the centre of my face though, because we don't want to mattify too much. Where is my brush? Taking a little bit on a fluffy face brush. Dusting that just in the center of my forehead. We're actually going to go in with two powder bronzers today. Both are mineralized skin finishes from MAC. I've got the shades Dark Tan and Give Me Sun. First I'm dipping into Dark Tan and really lightly blending this everywhere that we put the cream bronzer. That'll be that on the floor. She survived. This is just going to set that cream bronzer and make sure that it lasts all day. A little on the tip of my nose. Now I'm taking a really big fluffy face brush. This is a Dolce & Gabbana Beauty blusher brush and dipping that into Give Me Sun. Give Me Sun is basically just more of an orange toned bronzer. I'm basically just applying this everywhere. All over the face, the forehead, the cheeks, on the nose. For powder blush, I'm going to use the Haus Labs Hibiscus Haze. Taking this on a Peaches and Cream PC03 brush, and I'm literally just really lightly tapping into this because these are so pigmented. The head of my brush just fell off. I think it's really time that I invest in some new ones. Well, I'm really lightly blending this onto my cheek, starting up here at the high point and then blending down towards the apples of my cheeks. Again, taking this right underneath my eye so that it looks like actual sunburn, and a little on the nose. I'm loving a luminous blush at the moment, so I'm really tempted to go in with this Rare Beauty one. This is in the shade Joy. It's like a really warm, like goldy colour. I think that would look really nice on top. I don't want to go in with too much of this, so I'm taking it on a really fluffy brush, picking up the tiniest bit and gently blending that over. I am just going to keep this to the higher part of my cheek though. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Slay. Let's move on to the eyes for now. I'm just taking whatever concealer's left on my sponge just to blank out my lids a little bit. And then I'm going to use the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 palette today. This formula is honestly something else. Taking a Zoeva 227 brush, I'm picking up this shade here, tapping off the excess. I'm looking down into my mirror here and I'm just going to stamp this on the outer corner. Wait, maybe I can zoom you in. Okay, as I was saying, just pressing the shadow into my outer corner and right close to the lash line. You don't really want to take this above the crease just yet. And once that shadow is packed on where we want it, I'm just gonna really, really lightly, like genuinely with the lightest touch, start slowly buffing out the edges. These shadows genuinely blend so effortlessly, buffing it slightly upwards and slightly outwards. I'm also going to start blending it onto the lid. And now we have the start of a nice little smoke. Doing the same on this side, laying that colour down and slowly diffusing it outwards. The more pigment you want, the more pressure that you put. That's why I really press it into the inner corner and then lightly buff it out. When I get out here, I am like barely touching the skin. And now that we've blended most of the product off of the brush, I'm just going to take it right through my crease. That's literally just dipping into the shadow once for each eye. And I'm going to go back in with my nose contour brush, but I'm going to use this fluffy side now. I'm picking up this colour here, tap it off, and I'm also just going to take that right the way through my crease and up towards my temples. Whenever I first place the brush on my eye, I'm always starting back here. I usually want the majority of the product to be on the outer corner so that everything's nice and lifted. Blending it right into the eyebrow and up towards the temple and into that bronzer. I'm also just going to blend this right over the lid in the inner corner. Just a nice little wash of brown over the lids. Nothing too crazy. If you want though, you can go back in and deepen up the outer corner. Add some eyeliner, you know, whatever you wish. I'm just adding a tiny bit more depth to the outer corner, and now we're going to do the same shadows on our lower lash line. Starting with the lighter shade on my PC47 brush and running that all the way along my lower lash line. As soon as I go in with a warm shadow on my lower lash line, I feel like the green in my eyes just pops instantly. Then picking up the darker shade on a little flat brush, just so that we can get even closer to the lash line. Keeping this as close to my lashes as possible. And I'm also just focusing it here on the outer corner. Now I'm taking this pencil from Makeup Forever. This is in the shade Limitless Brown. And I'm going to run this through my waterline. This is what's really going to make your eyes pop. This is my favourite shade to line my eyes with. I feel like anything darker than this is just too heavy for me. And again, it's just nice and warm, so it really, really makes your eyes pop. And let's finish off the eye with a little inner corner highlight, taking this shade up here on a Zoeva 230 brush and just popping this in the inner corner of my eye. I feel like this just really opens up your eyes. Okay, let's zoom back out. Okay, now I'm going to fill in my brows. First starting with my Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax. I use this in the shade 4.5. Just brushing this through my brows to get them all in place. and give them a little bit of colour and definition. And now to actually fill them in, I'm going to take the Refy brow pencil. I usually use my Maybelline Build-A-Brow, but I've went back to this Refy brow pencil and I'm really loving it. I also usually use like a soft brown shade, but I've been using the auburn shade in this pencil and I feel like it looks so much better, especially for a look like this that's already really warm. It's like the same colour as my hair, so I feel like it just ties in so nicely. Just filling in all these sparse areas and giving myself a little bit more shape, especially towards the tail end of my eyebrow here, because my natural brow just starts to disappear there. Obviously everyone's brows are different, but I feel like a general rule is just to start filling out the ends first and then move inwards, because you want the tail of your brow to be the darkest and the most defined, and then you want the front to be more fluffy, and you really don't want any harshness here. I barely fill in the start of this brow. The start of this one is a lot more sparse, so I'll just draw some hair-like strokes and then always go back in with the spoolie just to blend it out. Okay, time to do the faux freckles. This is my favourite part of the look. I feel like this is what really ties it all together. Doing faux freckles can be kind of scary though, because I feel like it's quite hard to make them look natural. So I'm going to show you my little hack that I use and how I do them. I'm using the Sheglam freckle tint, by the way, and this one is in the shade Tan. Okay, so first I'm just going to go in and draw on the beauty marks that I usually do. You want to let them sit for a little second and then just tap off the excess. And you kind of have to tap with like a different finger each time, because your finger will get the tint on it, and then if you press it back on your skin, you're going to end up stamping a freckle where you don't want it. And then my little hack for the freckles on the rest of my face, I just take my finger, take the freckle tint, I draw 1, 2, 3 little dots on my finger and just stamp them on. This just makes them look a lot more natural, because I feel like when you try and draw every single one on, you end up doing them too uniform and it just doesn't look natural. This way they just go on a little bit more random. Just going to keep going back in and building them up all across my cheeks. And if you are already freckly like me, then you can literally just go over any freckles that you see and fill them in and just bring them back. And they always look a lot more natural when you really dot them around your face. So not just having like a strip of them across your nose, actually bringing it down around the face. Whoa. I'm going to leave it at that for the freckles just now and do a little spritz of setting spray. This is Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless and it is the best setting spray ever. And look, now I have an actual fan for my setting spray. Huda Beauty sent this when they sent their setting spray. I feel like the setting spray just turns your makeup like almost back into skin again. It's just such a nice like natural glowy finish. The only thing with this Tower 28 concealer is just it does crease and it's so sad. Honestly so close to being perfect. I feel like there's not one concealer where you can get everything. It's either hydrating and looks really nice but it creases, or it's a bit dry and a bit matte but it like stays put. It's very annoying. Okay, let's do lashes and lips. I don't actually know if I'm going to do a strip lash or not, so I'll just start by giving them a little curl. Some days my eyelashes just really don't want to curl, and apparently today is one of those days. These ones in the middle here just won't curl, so I probably will add a lash, but I really want to use brown mascara. Obviously I can't really do brown mascara and then put a black lash on top. I might do black mascara on top and then brown on the bottom. Let's try that. For the top I'm going to go in with Maybelline Sky High. Oh no, I want brown. Maybe I'll try and layer the brown on top. Oh my god, this is not going to plan. I'm gonna go in and do the brown on the bottom just now. This is YSL Lash Clash in the brown, of course. It's a little bit tricky to do bottom lashes with this because this wand is actually really large. I'm gonna try and layer this on top, but I really don't know if this will work or not. I fear they are now just clumpy. Sorry guys, those lashes actually really started to stress me out there, so I had to go and deal with them off camera. But I basically just added like 2 individual clusters on the end of each eye, and they're these ones here from the Khloe Kardashian Tatti lash collab that happened a while back. These bottom ones here are called Love Khloe. Okay, we can finally move on to lips. I'm using my favourite lip liner ever, which is Huda Beauty Warm Brown. This is the best brown lip liner that exists, in my opinion. Like, that is just the perfect tone of brown for me. blend that out with my finger. And I'm also going to use my favourite nude gloss, which is Kylie Cosmetics Nude Kiss Lip Glaze. Just a little bit in the centre. And also giving that a little tap out. That is honestly lip combo of dreams. Oh my god, this makeup is looking so good. I think the last thing that I want to do is just add a little bit more glow. Also, I did something really fun the other day and I actually modelled for Huda, who's like the most talented, like unreal makeup artist that I've actually been watching for, I think since I was like 14, like probably like 10 years now. And he asked me to model for him, so we filmed together like a couple days ago now. It was honestly so fun. I cannot wait till he posts a video on YouTube and I can watch it. But he also has his own makeup brand, so he sent me home with a little bag of goodies. And I'm like desperate to try this highlighter. It's a gradient highlighter, so on one side it's a bit more champagne and then it goes to like a pinky colour. It's called Doll Dynasty. I'm gonna pick a little bit up more on like the rosy side. And I'm just gonna apply it right on the high points. Oh wow, that is gorgeous. Wow, okay, that's so pretty. Taking a little bit on my pinky finger and just adding it to the bridge of my nose here and the very tip. Oh my god, this makeup. Okay, I think that's us. Okay guys, this is our final look. I'm honestly like beyond obsessed with this makeup look. It's like full glam but still natural and summery. I've got my hair in a little middle parting today as well. I literally never wear a middle parting. I feel really weird with it, but I feel like this just fits the vibe. A little beach wave in a middle part. I think this might be my favourite makeup style ever. I feel really like cool with this makeup on. I feel like it'd be really good for like a festival. I honestly just love it. But yeah guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial because I loved filming it for you. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.